Hi guys, this is Justine from Elyose. Welcome to our very first Q&A video. So first of all, thank you for sending out all these questions. I will be happy to reply to all of them, but first of all, I'd like to address one important topic because we are constantly asked, why don't you guys tour? Why aren't you coming to my city? When are we going to see you live? When I say constantly, I mean every day, like almost every day. So I decided I would reply in a video and tell you more about it. So the first main reason is that we can't afford it. It's no secret that today you need to pay to play. When you're, especially festivals, the slots are, are auctions and or you have a support fee. I mean, you have a buy-on fee for festivals, unless you're a big headliner, of course. You don't need to pay. But when you're a small band, you need to pay. So you have basically to be rich, or you need to have a day job that that allows you to advance so much money because it's getting more and more expensive. I had a proposition last week for a tour for Elyose, and I would need to advance 10,000 euros for the gear, to pay for the gear, to pay for the nightliner, to pay for a new mic, to pay for an in-ear system, which I no longer have because I don't know if you're aware, I've addressed this topic a few years ago, but when I parted ways with one of Elio's old band member, he stole everything from me, including my mic, my in-ear system, and a lot of merch also. So I would need to buy all of it again, and that would cost at least 3,000 euros. 1,000 euros for the mic, 1,000 euros at least for the in-ear system. You know, what you have in your ears when you play live, you need to hear yourself. So that's called an in-ear system. I would need that. I would need a mic. I would need the gear for the samples for live because the synths are sampled. You know, we don't have a keyboard player. I would need, so that would be very expensive. Also pay for the rehearsals, pay for one session musician because Anthony and I are a duo, so we would need to pay a drummer. And I could go on with all the expenses that we would need to advance, you know. So basically the tour I was proposed, I need to advance 10,000 euros. I would make it back, of course, but I just don't have that kind of money. We are an independent band, so we are in auto production. We are, and so it's just a matter of budget. And for now, Anthony and I are 100% professional musicians. So like I said, we don't have a day job to finance that. So we are focusing on online sales, and this is how we make a living. Of course, we would love to tour. I miss singing live like hell. So it's not that I don't want to tour. It's just that I can't afford it for now. I already managed to live off our music sales, which allows me, you know, not to have a day job anymore. The next level would be going on tour, of course. But for that, I would need to launch a crowdfunding. And I was told that doing a crowdfunding for asking for to finance a tour would be like asking to finance some vacation because people don't realize how expensive it is and they just think that they're offering us some kind of vacation while, you know, the expenses are huge. And being a musician, a full-time musician, I just can't advance 10,000 euros for a tour. Then you could ask, why don't you do just one show? Well, one show wouldn't be worth it because Anthony lives in Montreal, and so him coming to Paris, you know, we would need to pay for the hotel, for the plane tickets, for everything. And, you know, in the end, we would spend like weeks of work, hard work, and prepare everything. And the cost. I mean, we wouldn't get anything, in return. It wouldn't be profitable for us. And I'm talking about money. I know some people don't like it, but it's just that music is my full-time job. So this has to be taken into account. As much as I would love to sing live, this is just not doable for now. So unless I'm launching a crowdfunding and I can get 10,000 euros, in this case, I could accept the tour that I was proposed last week. I could, give you a breakdown of all the expenses in detail. I could, of course, tell you in detail what is the money for, because some people don't even know and don't realize that it's not going to our pockets. It's not to make us become rich. I could do a crowdfunding. That would be the only option you would see us play in your town, like for a European tour. Not Brazil, not Mexico yet, and not the US yet, because that would be twice the price. And for now, that's too complicated. But at least we would tour in Europe. So please, guys, let me know in the comments of this video if you would honestly, if you would support a crowdfunding to go on tour. And if you do, then which perks would you like to get? Which perks would you be interested in? So yeah, please go ahead and tell me yes or no for the crowdfunding. Is that a good idea? Would you participate? Would you buy something? Would you support this project? Would you support this? I was told that people usually don't, but I'm asking you directly because I'm starting to get tired, of people every day asking me for live shows and telling them I don't know, I just can't. So if you want to make this happen, then tell me if you're supporting this crowdfunding idea. And in this case, we would be touring from next year. That's just an idea that I'm launching. Yeah, I hope that it answers your question about touring and about live shows. The next very, very popular question that we are constantly asked is, why isn't your debut album Théogyne available on streaming platforms? So the answer is that putting out an album digitally has a cost, again. And we don't think it would be worth it compared to the amount of streams we would have. And we prefer to keep the money to invest for our next album, because we are going to be recording our next album this April with Anthony coming to Paris to record myself. We already recorded 2 songs, Immuable, that and Prêt au combat, that is finished, but we haven't released it yet. And the 8 other songs I'm going to record in April, this will also cost a lot of money that we need to advance. So we'd rather, invest that money on the next album. We want to invest more in the future than in the past. And I also confess that I no longer recognize myself in that first album. I think I'm a much better singer now, and that I'm a much better songwriter. And of course, when I listen back to Théogyne, there are things I'm very proud of and that I love, but others that I tell myself I would no longer do today. So it's not very representative. It's not very a good representation of what Elyose is today. And I didn't want people, when they go to our profile on streaming platforms, to fall on Théogyne and think this is Elyose, while today our sound has changed a lot. We became more heavier. And I also believe that the songwriting is much better. So I want the new people who discover Elyose, not to fall on an old album that no longer aligns with our brand, our music. But you can buy it on our shop. It's available for you to download. And that's also a way to take you to our shop, because some people don't have the initiative to go to our shop, and they ask me, why aren't you guys on Amazon? I want to buy your CDs, but they're not available anywhere. They are available. We have our own shop, so it's better to go directly, support the artists directly. We don't need a middleman or Amazon to sell our music. You can come directly. And also, when I take people to our shop, then sometimes they realize, well, these guys have a lot to offer, like CDs and vinyls, and sometimes they didn't have a clue that we were selling those. So it's also a way to send people to our shop. So if you want to buy Théogyne in digital version, then you have it available on shop.elyose.com. So now is the time to reply to your questions. So the first question I have is from Christian. He asks, do you remember the drum covers that I did from Elyose's songs? And which one was your favorite song that I played? I do remember your drum covers. It was very nice watching them. I love to see covers of Elyose songs. And the one that I remember is Plus qu'humain and Mille silences. And I remember them, of course, and I thought that they were great choices for covers. And as for your question, would you like to see more Elyose drum covers for me in the future? Of course. It's always a pleasure to watch, and we're also very flattered that you are covering our songs. So knock yourself out, man, and thanks for your support. The next question is from Mathieu. When you write songs, do you wait for inspiration to strike, or is it just pure discipline, like trying to compose or write every day? Okay, so for me, I'm going to speak my own name. I can't tell for other artists, but for me, nothing strikes out of the blue. Waiting around for inspiration is like watching the grass grow. I mean, nothing will magically happen for my case. I have, it's like for any other job, I have my working hours on controlling my emotions through music, but I have a schedule for that, and I don't wait around for inspiration, because if I did, I wouldn't even have a house, you know. So I believe it's kind of a myth, you know, the artistic inspiration. Well, at least it's not the way I work. The next question is from Mike. What can you tell us about the next Erinyes album? I guess you saw on my Instagram that I just recorded the vocals for the second album. So we are doing a second album, and the deadline for our producer Aldo to finish it is the end of January. So by the end of January, we'll be able to hear the new album, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's even better than the first one. And this time we could record with the producer himself, and it added a lot of value to it because we were together. We could share our thoughts, ideas, and it really benefited from, you know, us two being together. The album, for the music, it makes me think about the old Nightwish a little bit. I mean, the Nightwish, the kind of Nightwish that I really love, like the two first albums. I don't remember their name. The one that has Stargazer. I think it's their very first album. So the new Erinyes made me think of that album, which is to me a very good classic. And also it has some folk touches here and there. Symphonic twist, of course. And it's a bit heavier. You have like breakdowns that are very good for metalheads. And this time also we took advantage of Nicoletta and I different ranges, because she's a contralto and I'm a soprano. So we really wrote, we really sang in our range, and we took advantage of our differences. We took advantage of us being different singers with different voices. Mizuo has kind of... is the kind of singer that can do pretty much anything. So that's why I'm talking about Nicoletta, because she has a very low range that I don't have. So I think our voices really complement each other. And for the next album, it's going to be released this year. So this is what I can tell you. Second question: how are you holding up? You mentioned in a previous email that you're splitting up from your ex-partner. I went through a breakup last summer, so 2023. It was very, very tough. What helped me a lot is writing music. It's keep on working for Elyose and keep on working for this band that I love so much. Anthony has been there too to support me, and that's something. If I didn't have music or Elyose, it would have been a lot more difficult. He was a lyricist of the band, so from now on, I'm taking over on the lyrics. I was already writing a few songs, but for our latest album, Théogyne, he wrote most of the lyrics, and he was ridiculously talented, a lot more than me. But now it's a challenge for me to write my own lyrics all the time. And for our latest single, it's been easier than previously because I was embodied by so many emotions after my breakup with him. And writing was kind of what made me feel better. And also, I learned how to write. I mean, when I began Elyose in 2010, I didn't know how to write lyrics at all. But then I worked on it. And I made a lot of progress. And today, I believe I'm able to write some lyrics myself. But it's just been... Again, it's been work, and that's something I had to learn because I believe I'm not gifted at all. So I had to work to, to end up with lyrics that I find good enough for Elyose. And at the same time, as I'm the singer, it's also easier because I know exactly what I have in mind and which lyrics are going to suit better for which vocal line, etc. So it also makes more sense for me to write my own lyrics, even though a lot of singers don't write their own lyrics, and that's okay. I'm also a songwriter. I also write now my vocal lines. Anthony's doing the music. This is how we work currently, but I've also been involved in the songwriting itself. So the lyrics now is part also on my job, but I'm evolving as an artist, and with time, I'm able to do more things, I guess. Now, next question is from Ulf. I'm sorry for the bad pronunciation. Are you going to write your own lyrics from now on, or are you planning to get another writer? So that was what I was talking about. I am planning to write all my lyrics from now on. For the new album, I've written all of them. We never actually got a writer. It was always somebody inside the band, except for my ex-partner. But before him, it was me and the former drummer, who was writing lyrics. So it's always been a band member or my ex-partner. So the next question is from Raul. Do you think there's some sort of resistance from the market or even public perception because most of your songs are in French and not in English? Like more doors would be open and a larger audience could be reached if you switched to only English lyrics. Because let me remember you that we also have a few songs in English. People tend to forget, but I also wrote lyrics in English. So there are some Elyose songs in English. So that's a very good question. I think, on the contrary, that our strength is that we sing in French. I think that it's more a strength than a weakness, because if you want to listen to metal in English, you have a lot of choices, while in French there are less choices. And I think this is part of our brand, the French. And I think that's what makes us stand out. I'm assuming this after all the feedback I got from you. I always do some surveys, and I often ask you guys, would you like more songs in English? And like 90% our fans say, no, please stick to the French. So I'm just listening to you guys, and it seems like even for non-speaking French, this is what they like about Elyose. And I'm glad, because it would be more difficult for me to write in English. It's, of course, easier to write in your own native language, especially that I'm not a born lyricist, so it's easier for me to write in French. Also, I can be more accurate in the description of my feelings, and I can be more poetic because French is my native language, so it's easier for me. So I'm glad that you're not asking for more English. I don't think it slowed us down in our career. And I don't think that more doors would be open to us if we sang in English. I don't think it's a big deal, the language you're singing in. And when you love something, you want to learn about the culture. Like, remember when the TV shows Squid Game was so popular, I heard that everybody was starting to learn Korean. It means that when you like something, you want to learn more about it. You don't want to remain in your comfort zone. You like to learn new things and hear new languages, and that's just part of enriching yourself and give more space to your brain. I mean, that's the way I function. I also like to hear non-English metal. It makes me, I don't know, dream more. It's more, it's a bit different. I mean, I also like when it's in English, but I wish I could hear more songs that are not in English. I think each language has its own charm and its own particularity. Next question is from Kevin. What is one prediction you have for the music business in 2024, good or bad? The game changer today is AI, because they are outsmarting us as humans. And I think that the people who don't use AI, I mean, not to write songs or lyrics, of course, but the labels or independent bands, doesn't matter, who don't use AI to help them in their career as a marketing tool or as a promo tool, or, well, we could use AI for so many things, but especially for targeting the right people for your music. I think AI will change a lot about, the promotion tools, and also people who are resisting this change will be left behind, I believe. People who still work like we used to in the 80s. Today we live in a virtual world, and AI is part of our world, and are allowing us to do things we couldn't as human, because they're super effective. They don't need to rest. They work 24 hours, 7 days, 7. They are trained very fast, and they can achieve results that as humans we can't. So I think AI is really the game changer, even for not only for the music industry, for all industries. It's going to be, there's going to be a massive change in our society, because a lot of jobs are going to be suppressed and replaced. Even in the music business, some jobs are going to be replaced, and AI will take over in a lot of things. So I believe the music industry, like every other industry, will be impacted by AI, and we need to, we shouldn't resist it, because if you don't use it, then your competitor will, and you'll be left behind. So now AI is part of our world. On the artistic side also, we're already using AI for editing tools, or maybe some people may even be using it for creation, I guess. I asked ChatGPT to write some lyrics for Elyose, just to see how he was doing. And actually, it's not able yet to write lyrics. Not that I wanted to cheat or anything. It's just that I was curious. And for now, it looks like lyrics written by a 5-year-old. So today it's not possible, but we are just at the beginning. I think ChatGPT or any other AI will be able to do a lot. So the good news is that you can do a lot of things on your own, not relying on a label or anything, because you have at your disposal very efficient tools. The next question is from Adrian. Will Théogyne ever be re-released on physical media, CD or vinyl, or any of the other albums that are now sold out? Yes, Ipso Facto is going to be reissued and reprinted. There's going to be a new pressing for Ipso Facto. I think I'm going to launch a pre-sale to be able to finance for the pressing. I think I need 1,000 euros, something like that. So I think I'm going to launch a pre-sale, and as soon as I have enough, I'll launch a new pressing for Ipso Facto. In CD, that's for sure. For vinyl, it depends if the costs are still so high. It has become extremely expensive to press vinyls today. So that's why we didn't made vinyls for Déviante, our latest album. But as soon as the prices are okay again, of course, I will be pressing a lot more vinyls for all our releases. Théogyne, we're not going to is not going to be reissued, unfortunately. Like I told you before, it does not. I mean, the music does not align with Elyose anymore. For Théogyne, unfortunately, is not going to be reissued. So only Ipso Facto. And will the Blu-ray version of Live in Paris ever be re-released? I don't think so, because it's a live show with the old band members that are no longer within the band. And I don't feel comfortable with them still being around while we haven't seen each other or even talked to each other for more than 4 years. To me, they're no longer part of the new Elyose identity. And I would like to launch a new live show on DVD, but with Anthony this time. So it's more up to date, actually. I think, yeah. So Théogyne and Live in Paris are now collector items. Will there be a follow-up to the Erinyes album? Yes, like I said, we finished recording our second album, and it's going to be out this year, and I'm really excited about it. And I may be the one taking care of the videos this time. It's not sure yet, and that's confirmed, but I asked if I could. Next question is from SF. Why isn't Elyose on Bandcamp? Bandcamp is actually not marketing friendly at all. It really is at the dinosaur age. Like, you can even install your pixel there. I mean, to me as a marketer also, I'm not just an artist. I also need to sell our music, you know. And also, I mean, all our CDs and all our merch is available in our shop. So I don't want to have like 2 shops. That would be that wouldn't be very easy to handle. 2 shops at the same time. I want to gather everywhere in one place, and our shop is really offering everything you want and you ever asked. So there are no, I mean, other than you asking guys, for us as artists, it's really not worth it at all. Right. Did you always want to be a musician and write this type of music? The answer is yes. I've always wanted to become a singer, and I've always wanted to become a musician, and I've always wanted to do metal. So I guess that answers your question. Next question is from Tim. What are your interests or hobbies outside music? That's a very good question. Since music became my job, now I had to find other hobbies, and I discovered running and workout, which I like a lot. So now I run at least 2 or 3 times a week, and I'm in a running club. And I started to like it very much. I'm even doing some races, and it's a good balance between sport and music, because when you do music, you're in front of a computer, seated, And I need to exercise, to keep in good health and to keep in shape. And it also energizes me and also makes me meet a lot of new people. So that's what I love about it. My second hobby is books. I love reading books, especially self-help books or business books or this kind of books that nobody wants to read, but that I'm very fan of. I love books about, artificial intelligence. I read a lot about artificial intelligence. And like I said, it's going to be the topic of our next album. I love self-help. I love psychological books, or as long as I learn something. I'm not keen on, fiction. Most of the time I need to learn from what I read. So that's why I only read boring books. But reading and working out are my hobbies. Next question is from Symphonic Metalhead. When writing songs, do you write the lyrics first or the musical arrangements first? The lyrics always come at the end. Even my vocal lines, I write them with, I compose them with la 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 or da da da. I just say nonsense, total nonsense. But it follows a rhythm, a very specific rhythm, and it's extremely accurate. And then I need to find the lyrics that will match exactly with the right number of syllables, and that's what makes it challenging. Also, I can just write stuff that I have in my head, just like that. I need to follow a pattern, and I need to follow a few rules, But yeah, the lyrics always come in the end for me. So music first. Next question is from Damien. Is there any bands you listened to that inspired you to choose the genre for Elyose? Yes, I was a very big fan of Within Temptation and their first album called Enter. This one has really inspired me. And I really wanted to sing this kind of music, and also the way she sang was the same way I sang. I was singing classical singing was the one that matched me the most. So Within Temptation inspired me. Lacuna Coil, of course. Come Elyose has been a very inspiring album for me. Also Theater of Tragedy and The Sins of Thy Beloved and Paradise Lost. These are the bands that inspired me. They're more doom gothic metal, while Elyose is not doing that, but I also found my own identity. I didn't want to be a ripoff of Lacuna Coil or the bands that I love, but definitely Within Temptation with their two first albums really made me want to do this genre. Actually, I never even considered doing another genre. Metal has always been my passion and the kind of music that I like the most by far. What music are you listening to in daily life? So I listen mostly to modern metal. I like bands like Lacuna Coil, Infected Rain in this moment, and also gothic metal, like I said, Paradise Lost, Draconian, these type of bands. But I put out a playlist of all the songs that I listen, and it's regularly updated. It's on Spotify. I'll give you the link in the description if you want to listen to my own playlist. This is the music I listen to, and you'll have like lots of different artists. Some are famous, some are not, but I believe there are gems that you should listen to and that you should discover. So feel free to follow my playlist too, because it's updated regularly. Next question is from Olivier. Any kind of projects this year? Yes, like I said, we are going to record our next album, which will be the 6th album. My God, we are old. So in April, Anthony is coming to Paris, and we're going to record our next album. So that's already something big. I think we'll try to release it at the end of the year. So yeah, that's a very big project, I guess. Next question is from Landry, or Landry. Sorry, it's in French. I need to translate. Without giving up on Elyose, which band would you accept to become the singer of without hesitation? Honestly, Elyose is so much demanding that I would not have time to sing in another band. I could be a session singer. Sometimes I sing for other projects than mine. But if I went on another band, on another professional band, I would need to give up Elyose because I couldn't do the two at the same time. It's a really full-time job, and I already don't have much time left, and especially that I already have another band which is called the Erinyes, and these two are occupying all my time. So, but let's play the game and answer your question. I would reply a band like I said, modern metal, like Lacuna Coil, or In This Moment, this kind of band I would love to be a singer of. Next question is from Denis. Who is your favorite classic rock star? I believe I don't have any. Is that a big deal? I don't have any. Actually, I when I was a teenager, young teenager, I was into Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. These were my rock stars, even though they're not doing rock music. I didn't grow up in the 80s, so I don't know. I don't have a big culture in rock. I don't have kind of a favorite rock star. Not that I think of. Would you ever consider doing a country music song? No. I have zero culture in country music. I don't listen to country music, so I wouldn't be able to write a country song. I just don't have the codes. I just don't have the culture. No, I wouldn't be able to. Next question is from George. Which bands did you listen to the most before you started doing music? Like I said, Within Temptation, Lacuna Coil, Theater of Tragedy. And also, I also used to listen to doom metal a lot, like Esoteric, Shape of Despair. Which one? I don't remember, but I've been into doom metal for quite some time, and I really started to listen to doom metal even before Within Temptation, I guess. But I also liked, of course, Evanescence, which was... Yeah, but the main ones were Within Temptation and the Theater of Tragedy. Did you and the rest of the band go to school together, or did you meet them later on? I actually met Anthony in 2019, so it's been more than 4 years now. We met online. I contacted him through his Facebook profile or something, and then I asked to talk to him because I liked him as a musician. He didn't know me at all, but I went to find him because I really liked his songwriting, his professionalism. At first, I didn't know how professional he was and how we would get along so well. But we ended up being friends, and today we are friends. We are not just working partners. We also are friends. But yeah, we met after we were 30, so nothing like in high school or anything where I never met any musicians. Actually, I remember I was playing piano at the conservatory also, but there were future classical musicians, but nobody was into metal. The only people I knew that were into metal, I met them online, but in real life, I don't meet metal musicians at all. What's your favorite place to visit outside of the city you live in? This is still a question from George. I don't have one favorite place yet because I haven't visited a lot of places, to be honest. I haven't traveled a lot. But what I can tell you is that it would not be a city. It would be somewhere close to the seaside or in the mountains or somewhere where nature, where you can enjoy nature. And so definitely not a city. What kinds of instruments do you play? I'm a pianist. I also did organ, and but now I no longer play. Now I focus on my singing. But when I'm writing songs, especially the backing vocals, I always use my keyboard. I no longer play piano, or just a little. I rather use it as a tool for songwriting, especially for the backing vocals, when I write the backing vocals. Who draws up the designs for the merch? That's a good question. So the latest designs have been drawn by a man called Michael Bryant. So he's been doing the design for Deviant. That's his job. I gave him a photo of me, a profile photo. Photo where he has my profile, and then he designed all the rest, following my instructions, of course, and listening to the music. I wanted something cyber, industrial, and futuristic, and urban, like urban fantasy, this kind of thing. And he really transcribed very well the kind of music we do. And he also made the designs for the t-shirts, for the hoodies, so for all the Deviant collection, actually. Before him, it was a woman called Noemi Aurora, who's in another band. You may know her for her band Hellenic Flowers, and she was my designer until Deviant, and then Michael took over. So the next question is from Arthur. Have you ever considered recording an English version of any of your songs or albums, or maybe a lyric sheet in English? No, we haven't considered doing this. Although we have songs in English already, like I said, but translations of the songs, would be maybe we need to provide that. Although ChatGPT is doing that very easily these days, or translation apps. But I think that's not what you're asking. I think you're asking for, rewrite the lyrics, and that would be a huge amount of work, actually. Rewrite the lyrics in another language, make an adaptation, and then record again. Recording an album is at least 10,000 euros, so I don't think it would be worth it, especially that, Elyose, like I said, is part of our, the French, it's part of our identity, so no, but like I said, we have a few songs in English. Next question is from Christian. This may be very superficial, not very relevant, but I haven't found any information about you, like height, preferences, and that kind of personal descriptive data. Is it intentional because they are too personal? Not at all. I don't know. I don't know what you want to know. My height is 1.72 meters. 1.72 meters. So I'm actually quite tall. Preferences about what? No, it's not. So it's not intentional. I can share things that's why I'm doing this Q&A, actually, if you want to know some details about me. You've mentioned that you would like to sing with a guttural voice like growls, but it's not possible for you. So in L'Animal Aimé is the last non part performed by you. It seems very powerful and heart-wrenching. It gives me goosebumps. Thank you. Well, it's actually me, so that's all I'm able to do, just one note. And I will try for the next album also to do a very small part, but it hurts my throat. I mustn't be doing it the right way, so it's actually damaging my voice. So I haven't focused. I haven't trained for it. I don't even think I'm able to do it. I would love to, like Lena Scissorhands in Infected Rain. I believe it's very gorgeous the way she can switch from one voice to another. I wish I could do that, but I can't. But I still can do lots of other stuff. So I focus on what I can do and not what I can't. And there are very good singers out there who can growl. in relation to the previous question, would you ever consider collaborating with someone like Candice Clos? I think she I think she stopped being a singer. I think she no longer sings. I mean, not professionally. I think she no longer wants to do that. She's no longer in her band Ets. But I asked Rachel Asp, the next singer of Ets, and actually she said yes. It was for a featuring for another Elyose song. Actually, it was for Retour Réel, but she took a lot of time to reply, and it was at the end. It was too late because the recordings were over. So we almost worked together. I know that as an independent artist, some things can be challenging, like touring outside of your country. However, would you consider doing a live stream or on streaming platform? It's been almost 4 years since live in Paris, and I think there's a lot to share. I'd rather do real live shows rather than streaming live. Now that we can tour and there's no longer that pandemic and that we're allowed to perform live, I'd rather do live shows, actually. I'd rather meet you in person. You've mentioned that you would like to live in Spain. What is your opinion about Mexico? Mexico or Spain, doesn't matter, as long as there's the sea and the sun. That's all I need. Warmth and to be able to swim or at least see the sea. That's all I need. I'm not difficult. Why have you stolen a piece of my heart? Thank you. Next question is from Michael. What was the very first song you wrote? Oh, that's a very good question. I like this one. The very first song I wrote together with an old band member of Elyose, who is called Ghislaine, is called Elevation, and it's on the album Théogyne, the first debut album, Elevation, like Elevation. That's the first song I wrote together with an old Elyose band member. We wrote it together, the two of us, Ghislaine and I, and that's the first song we wrote together. And I think, no, that's not the very first song I wrote, but at least the very first song that came out. Next question is from Patrick. Which foreign country does Elyose have the most fans outside of France? That's a very good question. Actually, it's the US. It's the United States and United Kingdom. This is where we have the most sales and we have the most responses to our music. Do you usually take care of your voice? And if so, what care do you take? I'm embarrassed to say that, but I don't take care of my voice other than, having a healthy, as healthy as possible lifestyle. I work out, I eat healthy, I don't smoke, I don't do things that are bad for my health, and that's how I take care of me and my voice, because my voice depends on my health state. It's very linked to my health, so nothing other than just taking care of my health. What is your favorite song to sing by Elyose, and which one do you hate? I don't hate any. I'm not gonna say I hate my own songs. My favorite one is Vendredi Noir, but Vendredi Noir, but I've never performed it live, of course, because it's a new song from our latest album, Déviante. So the one I can't wait to sing live is Vendredi Noir. That will happen one day. And the one I like least, let's say, I don't hate it, I still like it, but it's the one I like least, is called M'Essentiel. Next question is from Enrique. I would love to hear what you sound like in Spanish, so I'm going to write that question in that language. ¿De dónde proviene el nombre Elyose? Okay, so I'm going to reply in Spanish. I think you must have heard me speak in French before, so this time I'm going to speak Spanish. And I wrote down my answer, so it's easier for me. Let's go. Este nombre simplemente proviene de mi imaginación. No quería un nombre demasiado complicado de recordar, ni que se terminara con IA o con A, porque eso es demasiado cliché en el metal sinfónico. Pensé que Elyose sonaba bien, pero no tiene un significado particular aparte de nosotros. Next question is from Matthew. Why are your guest vocalists only male singers? Any chance it could be a woman one day? That must be because I'm a woman already. So there's no need for another woman. I mean, I'm already here, so a male could be more of a change or more complementary with me. You know, me singing with women, you have my other band, the Erinyes. I'm singing with Nicoletta Rossellini and Ms. Walline. So you can already hear me singing with other female singers in that band. So in Elyose, I like the contrast of my voice, which is very ethereal, feminine, classical. I like the contrast with growls a lot, and I love male growls. It could be a woman, but it would still be a growler or a screamer because I'm a clean singer. And so what's interesting is the contrast of the voices. What's the point of doing a featuring or a duet if the other singer has the same kind of voice as you? I mean, I could sing her parts or his parts. So it has to be somebody that has totally different skills than me. Next question is from Eduardo. Eduardo, what is your favorite Elyose song? I suppose these days it's Immuable, but which one else? Mine is Folle Alliée. I love Folle Alliée, and it's not a popular Elyose song, so I'm glad you noticed that song, which I like a lot. That's because we haven't released any videos for it also, but it's more alternative metal. It's more modern metal. It doesn't have any symphonic twist or gothic twist. So I like it too. I think my own favorite, like I said, is Vendredi Noir, and that would certainly be, if I had to pick another one, that would certainly be from our latest album, Déviante, because this is to me, in my opinion, the best Elyose album. With which singer would you like to do a duet currently? I'd love the singer of Septic Flesh, Spiros Antonio, I believe. But I really see myself with a growler, a male growler. I don't know why. Maybe, like I said, I love the contrast. Next question is actually anonymous. I have two anonymous questions. First one is, what song makes you feel most empowered? It's hard to reply. Only one song. Maybe I would reply Septic Flesh song. Any of their songs, actually, they're all so good. Although they're a bit dark. Yeah, like some good symphonic death metal from Septic Flesh, I would say. Are you ticklish? Yes, I am. Next question is from James. Do you have any opera training and or experience? Yes, I have training as a classical singer. I went to the conservatory in Paris, and I practiced classical singing for a few years before I got into metal. So yes, I know a lot about opera, but I no longer do. I love the combination of metal, alternative, and operatic sound. Me too. Next question is from Leon Cook. What was your day job before? My day job before, I was a property manager. I was doing maintenance for apartments, owners who were Americans, who were from the US, who owned apartments in Paris, and I was doing all their maintenance. And how did you feel when you were able to quit and become a full-time musician? Like the best day of my life. But it didn't happen, from one day to the other. It was a long process, and I knew I would get there. So I've actually enjoyed doing that job before, knowing that it was, a way to, it was just on the way to fulfill my dream and become a full-time musician. So it felt like I was beginning a new life that was mine, and where I was the X factor. Now, if I fail or if I success, is all on me. So it's exciting and at the same time scary. I also knew I would have to leave with not a lot of money. That would also be a sacrifice. But at least I was free, and this was extremely fulfilling, being your own boss and the X Factor. You've shared some of your race times on IG, on Instagram, and they were quite good. Thank you. Are you a runner too? What is your personal running record? Actually, my record is for a trail, not a regular run. It was 21 kilometers with an elevation of 900 meters. So that was quite tough. And it took me 2 hours and 20 minutes. How did you get Doudouche? Doudouche is my cat, for those who don't know. And what does the name mean? The name does... In English, douche is, well, not a nice name. I know. But in French, it's not pronounced the same way. This doesn't mean anything. It's just some random word that sounded good to me. And when I saw her, I adopted her. That was not her name at first. But, that's just her name. A doudou in French is a lovey. And I added sh, like to make it her very own name. But it doesn't have a meaning in French. It's just like a pet name, or doudou could be a lovey, or could also be your partner, like sweetheart or baby or honey. So doudou and sh is her own twist to the name. And now, last question is from Juca Ventura. Are you willing to offer vocal classes in the near future, online or presential? I'm not a singing teacher. I wouldn't be able to teach singing. I wouldn't be able to give any singing lessons. I don't have the skills for that. I'm not trained for that. I know how to sing, but I don't think I'd be able to make people sing. So no, I'm not a teacher. I'm not a vocal teacher, and I am not planning on becoming one. Sorry. So thank you guys for listening to all my replies. It was a pleasure replying to you. Talk to you soon.